In this video, I'm going to show you how to install WordPress, set up a database, and make it secure. And that's the key part, and make it secure. Before I get going on this, I want you to know that I don't have any affiliation with WordPress or any of the plugins that will be mentioned, or any of the plugins, period, for that matter. I have no affiliation with WordPress, but I have been using WordPress for about 20 years, maybe a little more than that, and I've seen a few things along the way, and I've tried a few things, and I've been locked out of my website. If you can imagine it, I've probably done it. Yeah. So that's all I've got going for me, is I've got a lot of experience with WordPress. So to get started, the first thing you need to do is go to wordpress.org and get WordPress, download WordPress, the most recent version. It downloads as a zip, then you'll need to unzip it, and you're left with these files here in this sort of structure. Once you have that, then you need to use a FTP program of some sort like FileZilla and upload this file structure just like it is to your domain, your root directory on your domain, unless you know what you're doing and you're doing something other than that. If that's the case, you're probably not watching this video. I have already uploaded those files. So all I need to do now is to create a database and then connect that database to my WordPress installation files. I do want to say real quick that I am hosting on HostGator. If you have HostGator, you have the cPanel, and you have a single button quick installer for WordPress called WordPress Manager. With this, you can just click install, select the domain that you want it to be installed to, do a quick install. If you do it this way, please change that admin username off of admin to basically anything else. I'm not going to install it this way because I'm going to show you how to manually install it. But this admin username of admin is terrible. That's one of the worst things you can do. And don't use an admin email that says admin at whatever domain you have. Second bad thing to do. I'm going to get back to my cPanel. I need to find the MySQL database wizard, which is this. I'm going to create a database. I'm going to give it some kind of a name that I know what it is. I'm installing this on Needle and Die, so I'm going to 54 characters max. I can do something there. I'm just going to do Needle, and we'll say 101. You should put a number, some letters, some numbers. Really shouldn't be a word. But this is very temporary. By the time you see this, it will no longer exist. I promise. So then you just hit next step. Then you're going to create your username. And the username, the database name, the username, the password are all going to be used again. So we'll either write them down. Most of the time, these wizards will show you at the end of it, will show you a overview of what you just did. So username, I'm going to go with LTL 101. Password, make it a good password, a decent password, preferably uppercase, lowercase with some numbers and some kind of punctuation. This is very temporary, so I'm not going to be too strict about it. Yeah, that'll work for now. As long as I can remember it. By the time I get to that point, I should be able to create user. And this particular user is going to have all privileges. Make sure that your user has all privileges if you see this screen, because you definitely want to make sure it has all privileges. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to the domain that has my WordPress files. And it will automatically register that it's not been installed yet, and it will start the install process. This is where you need a database name, username, password, host, and table prefix. If you decide you don't have to use a table prefix, but it's a good idea. Database name. This is what we just made. And username. It's also what we just made. Password. And on HostGator, it will be localhost. Table prefix defaults to WP underscore. I recommend that you change that. I usually change it to something to do with my website that I'm installing on. So in this case, I might do ND underscore and hit submit. And as long as you see, all right, Sparky, run the installation, that means it has connected to your database and it has all the privileges that it needs. If you see anything else, something in your database, that database information is not correct. So run the installation. Information needed, site title. Oops. Yeah, put me down there, that's fine. Username, again, never use admin, ever. So I'm just going to put username Dale. I'm going to use a password that I know. I'm going to use that same password because it's, like I said, it's temporary. Confirm the use of a weak password, just in this case. If it says weak password on you and you're keeping that particular install, do something different. I recommend Bitwarden. It's not a sponsor. I use it and I really like it, and it's free. So don't use a weak password. I'm already failing on my duties as showing you how to make it secure, but I am telling you when to not do as I do, right? So there is that. Search engine visibility. You can check this box to discourage search engines. Some search engines will honor that request, some won't. So if you want anybody to be able to see your find your website by a search engine search, don't check that, and hit install WordPress. And once it's installed, then you can log in with what you just entered. Hit remember me and hit log in. Once you get logged in, get to the dashboard. This is the first thing you're going to see on the dashboard. The very first thing you're going to do is go to users, click on your name edit. This is the very first thing you're going to do. Right here, name. Your username is what you will log in with. And nickname. Make a different nickname than what your username is. The reason why is right here where it says display name publicly as. My only option right now is Dale. So if I post things and it said posted by Dale, that's an immediate giveaway on what my username is, and username is used as a login. You don't want to use your username to post things by. So you don't have to fill in your first name, last name if you don't want to, but definitely select a different nickname. And as soon as you fill that out, now it will be available here. But you don't ever want to post posts or pages or replies, anything as your username, because then it's not hard to find out what your username is. You can use your username to log in. Now all I have to do is figure out your password. You want it to be harder than that. So now I'm going to post as Buzzard, which is not my username, and it's going to make it harder for people to figure out how to log in as me. So that's step number 1 on being more secure. And then update password or update profile updated. Now, whenever I post a post or a page or anything, it's going to be posted as Buzzard, not as username Dale. So that is step 1. Step number 2, we're going to go straight to plugins, and we're going to add new. And the first plugin you're going to install is going to be a security plugin. Right now, I highly recommend iTheme Security. If you type in iThemes, it will come up as number 1 right here on the list. iTheme Security, 3,896 positive reviews. Well, reviews, and then of those, they have a 4 out of 5, which is really good. And that's the one we're going to install right now. So when you install iTheme Security and you activate it, we're going to go into settings for iTheme Security. This is what comes up when the first time you run it. It's a walkthrough setup. You can skip setup and proceed with default settings if you want to, but we're going to take a look at it real quick. It's asking you what kind of network is this going to be. Is it going to be an e-commerce? Is it going to be a network like a social media network, or a social network, nonprofit, a blog, portfolio, brochure? Most people will either do an e-commerce or a blog, probably. So we're going to select e-commerce, and then it's asking you, are you setting this up for somebody else, or is this your site? We'll do, this is my site. Select customers. I think when you install WooCommerce, it actually sets up a customer thing here, but just for now, we'll select subscriber. That's fine. Now, we can come in later on and change this, but yes, you have to decide, do you want the general public to be enforced for a strong password that hasn't been compromised? I would always say yes to this, and that's entirely up to you, but it will make your site more secure, because somebody could, most of the hacks that are happening, at least recently, are happening because somebody got into an account and then escalated privileges beyond what they're supposed to be. If you can keep them from getting into anybody's account, that will go a long way. So right here, login security. iTheme Security does do a 2-factor. I'm going to turn that on. And then on lockouts, has brute force lockout, network brute force. I'm going to turn all that on. Security Check Pro, turn that on. It's just a stronger way to identify people. Hit next. I'm going to go with default, and then skip user groups. Hit recommended. It's going to set up all the user groups at the recommended setting. I don't know if I've ever changed those, so you should be fine with the defaults. Probably a good idea to add your current IP to the authorized host list so you don't accidentally lock yourself out anytime soon. That's a good thing. You don't want to be locked out of your own website. Yeah, definitely a good thing. API configuration, put in your email address here so that it will connect the API configuration, and that's part of the network brute force. It will set up an API to their server so that out of all the websites that they secure, if they find a bad actor, it will be put into a database, and your site will be protected from that bad actor that acted badly on a different website. So that's a great thing. It's always a plus. Overview. Yeah, this is just an overview of what it's going to do. Hit secure site. It's going to go through the settings. Hit finish. And then click settings. There's a couple more little tweaks we're going to make. Advanced. Under advanced, that's what we're looking for. Under advanced, keep all that. WordPress tweaks. right here where it says enable XML RPC. Click disable pingbacks. I haven't found a plugin yet that doesn't work with disable pingbacks, but if you disable XML RPC, there are some plugins that will no longer work. Don't allow multiple authentication attempts and restrict access. Do those two things. Force unique nicknames. That makes it more secure because it forces users to choose a unique nickname when updating their profile. When they update their profile, if their username and their nickname are the same and you have forced unique nickname, it will force them to have a different name as a nickname than as a username. So that will make it more secure because of what I talked about before. And disable extra user archives. If that disables a user author page if their post count is 0, and it makes it harder for bots to determine usernames by disabling post archives for users. Hit save. Those are the primary things that I do. Something else you can do. Yeah, right here, hide backend. If you hide backend, the standard login for WordPress is yourhost.com/WP login. That is standard. If you change that, then the bots that are looking for WordPress installs, when they find a WordPress install, well, it will automatically go to whatever your site is, .com/WP login.php and try to log in. If you change that login location, it will get a 404 not found instead of actually being able to try to log in. So that's actually a real good thing. The default for iThemes is just WP login without the hyphen. I usually change this to something about my website, like this is Needle and Die, so I might do NED_login. You will need to write this down if you can't remember it, because you don't want to get locked out of your own website because you can't find the login page. I've done it. Yeah, I sure have. Not a good feeling. Alrighty. Hit save. Under login security, under lockouts, ban users, click default ban list. Under local brute force, click automatically ban admin user. If a bot tries to log in with the username admin, it will automatically be permanently banned. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. And that's one reason you don't want to use a username admin, because that's what all the bots try. So don't make it easy on them. Hit save. Okay, so that is iTheme security. We're going to set up another one. Go to plugins, add new, and we're going to install Jetpack. It also helps with security, and it helps to monitor your website. I have Jetpack connected with all, I don't know, 6, 8, however many websites I've got, and it tells me whenever it goes down for whatever reason. Well, it doesn't tell me the reason, but it says your website appears to have gone offline. So, yeah, there is that. That's good. It also helps. You can use Jetpack to connect Akismet, which is a spam filter, spam reducer. So that's a good thing. We're going to activate Jetpack. Set up Jetpack. You will need to go to wordpress.com and set up a website or a user account on wordpress.com for this to work. I already have an account there, so I'm just going to use my account and approve it. As long as you're logged in with wordpress.com on your browser, I think it'll find it. So now that Jetpack is connected, Now we can go to Jetpack Settings right here. There's a few things you can do right here. Downtime monitoring, get alerts if your site goes offline. That's exactly what I just told you and told you what it does. You can protect. Select this to enable protection. And it enables brute force protection that will prevent bots and hackers from attempting to log into your website with common username and password phrases. So you can, once again, select your add to the always allowed IP address. And then down here, you can use wordpress.com login as a alternative login authorization for your website. I use it a lot because it will actually get you around any captchas that you have on your own. Yeah. We're going to go back to the plugins. Right here where Akismet is, I'm going to activate Akismet. And Akismet will activate through Jetpack. Connect with Jetpack. That's exactly what you want. Yeah. Yep. So, and when you click on Akismet anti-spam under Jetpack, it will show you how much spam it's blocking. So right now we have a very secure website. We have no way to log in. Keep that in mind. I'm going to recommend one more thing. Under Appearance Themes, my favorite theme right now that I have running on every website I have, and every website I have looks different. It's that robust, is Nirvana. This is it. I'm going to hit install. And I've pretty much got the default one working on low-tech Linux, so you'll definitely recognize it on that one. Hit activate. Now I'm going to go straight to widgets. I'm going to close this out because I already know. Right sidebar. I'm going to click the plus button. I'm going to click login. Hit the login, log out. I'm going to click update. And I'm going to visit my website. That's what it looks like now. And I have a login and log out button. On the other one, I didn't have a way to log in. So with this, I can go into an incognito window. That's fine. Click login, and now I can see what it looks like when it's asking me to log in. Okay, last but not least, before you are done for the day, come in here. See how these all say enable auto update? I'm going to select this so it selects all of them. And under bulk action, I'm going to enable auto update, hit apply. You want any plugin that you have, every plugin that you have, you should have automatic updates enabled. So if it says click here to disable auto updates, that means it is auto update enabled, and it'll tell you right here auto updates enabled are 5. But that is all for this video. If you like what I do on this channel, please give me a like and subscribe and make a old truck driver happy. Till next time, thanks for watching.